What's up, guys? It is JZNES back again with another video. Today, here we are talking about my top 22 games of 2021. That's kind of funny. It'd be like, you know, if I made 21 games, that would have been like a proper thing, but now it's 2022, so we're talking about 21 games, or 22, god damn it, 22 games that I beat last year. You know all the games that they are, if you paid attention, but we're gonna go in order, and we're just gonna kind of recap, talk about them like we do every year. So, yeah, here comes that. Starting off, worst game of the year, Remember Me. That game sucked. I don't know, there's not much else to say. The controls were terrible, the fucking combo system was a whole hot mess. Like, the story was alright, but it could have been like way more interesting. Just the pacing of the game sucked. It was even a short game, but even that sucked. I don't know why I gave it a 5. It deserves like a 3 or something. There was potential there. It could have been a great game. But Remember Me is something not to remember. Fucking, I couldn't even find this game because, actually it was just because it was sitting down with my Xbox games, which are kind of hidden over there. But I thought, oh fuck, I must have like thrown it out the window or something. There you go. It's going back there. Alright, so Remember Me. Doesn't even count, really. Alright. Game number 21. Galgun Double Peace. Now, Galgun Double Peace I did for my Valentine's Day review. That was a fucking eternity ago. And I actually forgot I beat this game. Yeah, it's a weird game. It's for those, like, fucking anime moe fans or whatever, and it's just like very strange. Like, the gameplay is actually really solid. It's a very good like on-rails sort of shooter kind of thing, but the concept is just the most bizarre shit you've ever fucking heard of, and it can almost be like sickening at times with the fan service and whatnot. So it's really up to your sort of tastes whether or not you're going to really like this game. I thought that the gameplay was good, and I thought there was some decent unlockables. There's multiple endings. There's like hundreds of like 150 endings or some shit, like for one for every single fucking girl somehow. I don't remember how that happens or whatever, but like holy fucking shit, that's so many endings. So at least there's some fucking replay value, and it's a short game. Do I recommend Galgun Double Peace? Like, maybe, if you're into that kind of thing. There you go. It's for you. Maybe, then. So, yeah, not bad. Like, it was alright, you know? Pretty okay game. Hold on. I'm already fucking up this order, because I don't remember exactly which order it goes in. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, so, something that's happened this year, or the end of last year, really, as well. I have begun to sell some of my NES games, and one of them is one I do not longer own. My sentences aren't very good today, apparently. DuckTales 2 here, which is like a semi-valuable game. It's not like one of the more valuable NES games, but you know, I got a little good chunk of change off of it to help with things. So yeah, DuckTales 2. Kind of disappointing, really. Actually, that was supposed to come before Galgun. God damn it, I'm already fucking this up. So number 21 was DuckTales 2. Number 20 was Galgun. I definitely say Galgun is a much better game than DuckTales 2. DuckTales 2 is a game that, like, doesn't live up to the hype of the original game, and just goes a whole different direction and adds more mechanics and stuff, but it doesn't necessarily do anything super right. It just kind of overcomplicates things. The RNG on this fucking playlist right now is pretty dope. I mean, we went from fucking Metal Gear Saga to Zelda 2. This is like a hint towards the next video, you know, Zelda 2. So it's like, wow, how perfect, right? But anyway, sorry. So DuckTales 2 was supposed to come before Galgun. DuckTales 2 was supposed to come before that. All right. So DuckTales 2, yeah, just doesn't live up to the other two DuckTales games, which are amazing, you know? The first game's really great, and then I really enjoyed DuckTales Remastered, and we'll talk about that later. spoilers, but no, I'm just kidding. But I mean, it's not. I'm not kidding. It's a spoiler. I'm not kidding. It's a problem. You like John Tron. But anyway, so yeah, DuckTales 2, not as great as I would have liked it to be, but it was okay. You know, it was purely whatever kind of stuff. So yeah. So then we have Galgun. And number 19, A Boy and His Blob, Princess Rescue Blobette there. Rescue of Princess Blobette. A lot like the original Boy and His Blob, it felt like a very good natural expansion to A Boy and His Blob, which is one of my favorite NES games. And you better believe that's one of like the 100 NES games I'm probably going to actually keep, is A Boy and His Blob. Because, first of all, I have that fucking signed by David Crane and Gary Kitchen or whatever, so I'm keeping that shit. But also, it's just one of my favorite NES games. And I did do a review on that this year. But the sequel is actually also a really good game and a really good expansion to Boy and His Blob. Adding some new jelly beans, adding some new, like some new power-ups, and just a whole different setting. And it felt really very similar to the original game. Not as good as the original game, and it's a lot shorter than the original game. Like, there's not as much to figure out. It's just kind of a straight shot, whereas the original game, you can kind of go a whole bunch of different directions. This was not like that at all. So, but aside from the linearity, I would say that it was a very fun game, and the puzzle aspects were all really solid, and there were a few problems, but yeah, just like, it was really good overall. I really enjoyed it. So, Boy and His Blob gets the thumbs up from me. That's game 19 right there. Game 18, Wolfenstein: The New Order. Now, maybe it's surprising that it's this low on the list. That was a really good game, and I had a really good time with it, right, and everything. And like, I think it was a little bit overhyped, but like, in terms of a Wolfenstein to a modern adaptation, I did really enjoy the game, and it had a lot of good callbacks to Wolfenstein, the old games, and there's even levels from the original Wolfenstein, well, technically, it's like the third game, but it's like Wolfenstein 3D, the original one everyone knows, but obviously there were the two Wolfenstein games before that, but it had callbacks to all of that stuff. It was a really cool concept, like, what if, the Nazis actually won, and you are there in that world, which is just crazy, and so yeah, like, in terms of story and stuff, it's pretty cool. In terms of good characters, and the gameplay was really solid. Very enjoyable game overall. But it was just like, yeah, it was good. Just good though. Not like it didn't blow my mind or anything. So but pretty good game, pretty good adaptation of Wolfenstein for the modern age there. And then next we have, so that was number 18. Next we have number 17, Resident Evil Revelations there. Now, Resident Evil Revelations kind of harkens back to that original style of Resident Evil, the puzzle-esque style, the running around an area and trying to find items to be able to open up a different area and that kind of thing, which is what I really liked about the original Resident Evil games there, especially the first game and whatnot. So it was callback to those games rather than the modern era of Resident Evil, which is all these remakes, and the games are all very either action-focused or they're very remade of the old games, which have the aspects of the old games but just don't have that same feel as the old games. There's still something really charming about those old games. Now, I did really like the Resident Evil 2 remake, but it still is just like a slimmed down version of the original game with some like slight tweaks and extra content, and then just like it was a remake, of course, but I do still prefer Resident Evil 2. I still prefer Resident Evil 1 and the remake of that, of course, and then Resident Evil 3, which was also a great game. I just kind of prefer those styles, but Resident Evil 2, the remake, did harken back to that. But this game was a good celebration of that way before we even got a lot of these more action feeling. Well, actually, we had 4 and 5 at that point, so the series was headed towards action. My point was, it was a good return to form as a departure to those action games that we had been getting, sort of thing. I think even 6 might have been out at this point, now that I'm thinking about it, but we don't need to remember that. But pre-7, so pre the return to form that was as well. Even though that's not exactly a return to form, that's kind of a reinventing the wheel, you know, putting its own style on the series. But it had aspects of the original again, so. But yeah, this one was good. I did like the game. I like that we followed Jill again, of course. There's a lot of good moments, and it was kind of weird how they like broke it up into chapters, but that was like because it was on the 3DS originally, that kind of thing. So. But yeah, good Resident Evil game overall. I had a good time with it. Good shit. So yeah, Resident Evil Revelations there, number 17. Number 16, we have Dante's Inferno there. Good action game, very reminiscent of like a God of War sort of thing. Follows the storyline of Dante's Inferno, you know, or the Divine Comedy or whatever, right? Isn't that what it's based on? So, like, I had that book pulled out when we were doing the review. But anyway, they're just choosing the bangers, like Zelda, Metal Gear, you know. Yeah, this is good shit. Anyway, so yeah, Dante's Inferno, pretty good game, good action game. I like the setting for sure, like all the demons and shit you're fighting. The boss fights were pretty cool. I remember those being kind of hard sometimes, but you know, they're pretty cool. Good upgrade system and whatnot, so it was a pretty good game, you know, pretty good overall. I think I did that one for Easter or something, right? I'm trying to think, like, so that was number 16 there. Number 15, Uncharted 4. There. What's this? Something Animal Crossing related? Yeah. Alright, yeah, I haven't played Animal Crossing in a while. Man, remember how that got my Game of the Year last year? Or, well, it was like Game of the Year after, like, Link's Awakening or whatever. Like, holy shit. Like, it was like within the top 5 at least, or top 3 or something. Like it was pretty high up. Yeah, I haven't played that in a while. Anyway, so yeah, Uncharted 4 there. It's funny, they actually kind of made a callback to it in the fucking trailer for the movie, which I've finally seen now. You know, like, it's coming out. Fuck, like, I remember us talking about this for a long time. But yeah, fucking Tom Holland and shit. God. What the hell? I don't know. It might be decent, but Uncharted 4 here was actually a pretty good Uncharted game. I think it's a little overhyped. I definitely liked Uncharted 3 better. That's still my favorite Uncharted game. Oh yeah, there's the banger right there. This is appropriate because we've been playing Pokemon Emerald, me and Mayab there. So maybe a review on that in the future. I keep getting distracted from Uncharted 4, though. Yeah, pretty good game, though. I like how it kind of shows Nathan Drake later in his life. I like the characters and the storyline and all of that are pretty good. They're good follow-up. But, you know, like, it is kind of the Metal Gear Solid 4 of Uncharted games, but, like, also Metal Gear Solid 4 was just, like, so much bigger and higher stakes and whatnot, and it's just, like, I don't know, this game doesn't really do that, but it does call back to the older games a lot, and there's a lot of little good references and whatnot, and you get to see this future of Nathan Drake and that kind of stuff, and I think the one last adventure kind of thing is pretty cool, so yeah, it's a good game, just maybe not as good as a few of the other Uncharted games, so yeah, good game though. Alright, number 13. We got, is that a barter? Oh, 14. Number 14. Dragon Quest IX, a game I've been trying to beat since... God, and this doesn't even feel like I beat this year. When was this? When did I beat this year? This was like midway through the year, and it just feels like an eternity ago. Like, holy shit, dude. Then again, I did all those Dragon Quest reviews this year, and that feels like forever ago, too. What a long year. Oh, that felt like it just went by like that. But, you know, like, when you think back on it, it's like, wow. Like, holy shit, dude. Yeah, but Dragon Quest IX was a good Dragon Quest game. I definitely don't think it holds a candle to some of the earlier games like 5 and maybe like 3 or something. Maybe like obviously like 8 and stuff. But it does have a lot of good aspects to it, the customization of the characters and whatnot. I just really don't like the job system where you kind of have to find these jobs along the way, and then it takes like forever to level them up. I don't exactly remember why, but I remember it being really like a cumbersome sort of system there that's not very good. Sorry, let's get to good track here. There we go. That's adventurous. That's good. So I just remember the system of leveling up in jobs and stuff to be very cumbersome. But it was a good game. It just didn't... It felt like the most Final Fantasy of like Dragon Quest games, though, where it's like there wasn't really like a super memorable world or whatnot, and like characters or whatever. It just kind of felt like, oh, we're going from one thing to the next. I don't know. All these other Dragon Quest games felt really connected, like in their worlds. Their worlds always felt very alive and stuff. This just didn't really feel like that. It was more mission based, you know, whereas Dragon Quest is more like we're going on an adventure, you know, kind of thing. So I think some of that was missing. I don't know. These are just gonna fall over. So missing some of that magic was just not there necessarily overall. But yeah, I can't get that fucking glare off of that, can I? Oh, I bet you it's this one, isn't it? Yep. Alright. I'll probably does that help? No, that actually just fucking hurt things more. Well, about this. Let's try this, shall we? Alright. Good enough? No? Alright, well, fuck it. Yeah, anyway. So... fucking Dragon Quest, you know? It's a great series, but maybe not one of the better entries here. It's definitely lower tier, but it's not a bad game. I still really enjoyed it, a lot of aspects of it, but it just didn't feel as special as some of the other Dragon Quest games, you know, overall. So, yeah, Dragon Quest IX there. Pretty decent, though. There's just no way to set these up properly. Oh well. Anyway. Alright. So that was number 14. Number 13. Singularity. A really... Also kind of funny. It was very similar to Wolfenstein, where it was like a Nazi project or whatever, right? And it was like... very sort of similar thing, but this time it was more like supernatural. It almost felt like the Wolfenstein 2009, where they had like powers and stuff, and so you would like weave in between timelines and stuff, or like kind of go back to the past, and you'd play out a scenario there and then come back and that kind of stuff. But yeah, a really interesting game. I do remember like the weapons and stuff being pretty cool. It's a pretty short game. Overall, the gameplay is just really solid. Like all the shooting and stuff is just really cool. Anytime you'd have to do like puzzles and stuff is just cool. I don't know. There's a lot of exploration that was really nice. A lot of like really cool. The setting was cool. Like just everything about it was a really solid game overall. So yeah, Singularity, number 13 there. Number 12. Super Mario 2, Super Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins there. Now, whereas the ending to this game fucking sucks dick, the final castle is ridiculously dumb and bad. But everything else in the game was a lot of fun, and it's actually a really solid portable Mario experience, especially for the time. Very, very fun game, and it feels a lot like the older Mario games, and it just has that unique side-scrolling Mario style to it, reminiscent of like Super Mario Bros. 3 and like Super Mario World and whatnot. So, very fun game. Like, the continue system was a little wonky because like you'd have to refight the bosses every time you died, which was just really stupid. And like I said, the final castle is just stupidly impossible, and there's no reason it should have been that hard, but I don't fucking know. I just kind of gave up on it later, because it was just like, I'm not going to make it through this. But all of the first part of the game was still really solid, and I still really enjoyed that. So, the game still stands up as a good game, number 12 on the list. Very solid, classic Mario game there. And like aesthetically and like the music and stuff is really good too. So. Kirby's Dreamland 3 at number 11. I don't actually own Kirby's Dreamland 3, the cartridge, so here it is on the collection. Kirby's Dreamland 3. I remember when I get into these Kirby's Dreamland, I don't remember the minute details because it's like I played them all kind of right in a row. I do remember this is the one where they had like all of the companion characters that you would like ride and stuff, and that was a really big aspect of this one. So I remember that being kind of cool. But I mean, out of all of them, I ranked this probably the lowest of the Kirby Dreamland, maybe other than the first one. The first one was still really classic, though, I think, in its own regard. But not because it was bad or anything, just because, you know, it was, like, not as good as Kirby's Dreamland 2. I think Kirby's Dreamland 2 was, like, definitely the best one out of the Dreamland series there. It just felt the most well-rounded, and it had the copy ability finally. I guess I'm talking about both of them really because it's just easier to compare them. And this is the one where they kind of introduced the buddies that you would ride on and stuff. So yeah. But Kirby Dreamland 3, like it was fine. It was a good game. Obviously, it's pretty high on the list. So just not a lot of memorable stuff to remember about it, but I can say that about all the Kirby games. Not that they weren't memorable, they're just, like, I would have to see them again to, like, be like, oh yeah, that was that moment. Really what I remember hurting about all of these ones was there was always, like, an aspect where if you didn't collect all of the things, you wouldn't get the full true final boss ending and whatnot. So that always kind of sucked. But, like, that one especially, and then even 64 kind of did that, I think. But I did end up, like, doing that one and completing that one, so not a big deal there, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, this is the next one on the list, Kirby Dreamland 2. So that's number 10. This is number 11 here. Yeah, number 9. Oh, which is Kirby Superstar. Okay, Kirby Superstar was actually a really good Kirby game, and now there was a lot of different modes to it and a lot of different varieties of gameplay. My favorite being the one where you kind of explore to find all of the abilities, and then you can just use all of them whenever you want to use. And I think that's a really great concept for a Kirby game. There's a lot of good variety, a lot of great music in Superstar. Superstar is just like the top tier kind of Kirby game for me. And like definitely, if not my favorite, my second favorite Kirby game. The only reason I say that is because there's one higher on this list at the moment. but until I started talking about it, I kind of forgot how much I actually did really like Kirby's Superstar. And it's not a very long game. It's only like maybe 5 or 6 hours to complete the whole thing, which is kind of crazy. So, I mean, not complete. I mean, there was more to find, but it's like to finish everything or get through the main chunk of stuff. So yeah, Kirby's Superstar was really good. Number 8, Rocket Knight Adventures. Now, this is a great Konami game, right? Konami made this? Yeah, of course they did. Yeah, it's cut off there, you can't really see it. But great Konami game. Really good Genesis game. Like, one of my favorite Genesis games. If not, it is probably the best Genesis game that I've played so far. I really loved all of the gameplay and the flying and all that, and all the jumping and the slashing with your sword. It's such a cool character, such a cool design, and such a cool world. Now, the difficulty was like fucking top notch. I think I would have hated this game more if I had not save stated. The continue system is the one gigantic flaw with the game. If they let you just continue and stuff and not have limited continues, the game, or level select, the game would have been like probably like a 9. Oh, I did give it a 9 out of 10. The game would have been like a 9.5 out of 10, like, or at least like it could have even got like a 10. Like, that's how big. Like, I really, really liked this game. Other than that, and there was some frustrating moments kind of like that, and it's just like, that's the stuff that holds the game back. But other than that, really, really solid platformer. Really enjoyed Rocket Knight Adventures. Got to get to the sequel at some point, or sequels, that is. Okay. Number 7. Don't have it. Metroid Prime. The first one. Now, me and Maya played this. And it was a great game. It was great exploration. It was very good. This is appropriate. Very good, like, reinvention of Metroid into the 3D style, and I really definitely enjoyed that. I enjoyed a lot of the different puzzles and whatnot. The only stuff that like really held this one back was like the half-pipe stuff with the ball and all of that. I just didn't really like that kind of stuff. There was like a few things like that kind of held the game back, but other than that, like, the exploration was really top-notch. There was like some very well hidden secrets that it's like it could have taken you forever to explore around and find, which could be like a negative, but I think it's like a positive. It's that Legend of Zelda vibe where it's like, you know, exploring is the fun of it. And I mean like the first Zelda where you would just kind of explore to find everything. And that's kind of the beauty of the game is that kind of stuff. Some of the bosses were kind of shitty. Not shitty, but they were just like really difficult, or they would have difficult moments because of the way that the controls were and how the aiming was set up and whatnot. And I think that was like one of the other downfalls of the game, was that like the aiming system or whatnot could have just been like slightly improved. This is one of those games where if they just like remastered or remade it like a little bit to and there's rumors that that's gonna happen, to just improve the control and then just put it out with the same graphics and everything, and just like bump the resolution like we did with the emulator, like it's perfect. It's perfect. Give it save states or just like better continues. Perfect game. You know, 10 out of 10 as it stands. 8.7 out of 10. Pretty good game, but it has some flaws. But the flaws are pretty minor. If you're a Metroid fan, definitely, you've probably already played it, but like, that's a great game. Alright, number 6, Kirby 64. Now, this is the surprise hit of the Kirby series for me. Still a 2D game with like 3D visuals or whatnot, but probably one of the best Kirby games. The fusion of ability system, the combination system, or whatever it was fucking called, was a really cool concept, to where you would get like you know, different abilities by mixing abilities and stuff, and I think that's really cool. Just the game overall was really solid. And you know, it's a Kirby game, so it's going to be short and fairly easy. There were some bits that were super frustrating, or like you would have to really, experiment to figure out which ability would take down a certain part or whatnot. The fuck is this? Oh, it's Animal Crossing for us. So, yeah, but other than that, the game was really, really solid. I just had a lot of fun playing it, and it was a really good Kirby game. Probably my favorite Kirby game. Between this and Superstar, it would have to be. So, yeah, really great game. Really enjoyed that. That got a 9 out of me, so that's pretty big. Next, number 5. We're in the top 5 now. We got Silent Hill number 3. Now, I've talked about Silent Hill 1 and 2. I really enjoyed Silent Hill 1. That's my favorite horror game of all time. It's in my top 20 games. Silent Hill 2, I'm not as big of a fan of, but Silent Hill 3 was a good balance to the Silent Hill series, the good mix of both games. It had good aspects, and it kind of harkened back to the original game in a lot of ways, the more visual style and whatnot, which was sorely missing from the second game. More of the other world, that kind of stuff. And Heather is just like a really good protagonist, and she's the daughter of the protagonist of the original game there, and she's just a really good character. And I liked how when you would save, it would reflect on, she would sit there and reflect on like what the fuck is going on here kind of thing, this is fucked up. And I really enjoyed the gameplay and the setting and all of that, and it had aspects of the first game and the second game. It had a lot of locations from the second game, and so it felt like a perfect celebration of that series, and a good tie together, a good finisher to Silent Hill. Not that it was that, but it was a finisher to that trilogy of games, so they could do other things with Silent Hill, I just really enjoyed that. I enjoyed there's genuine horror there sometimes, and good atmosphere and whatnot. And I think it's just a really good horror game, and probably fairly underrated, because everyone just kind of writes this one off like it's not that great or something. But I really enjoyed Silent Hill 3. I thought it was great. So, yeah. So that's number 5 right there. Wow. Not that this has anything to do with anything, but this little, you see how there's all these purple or pink Kirbys, and then there's this one yellow one here, and I'm like, it's shiny Kirby, like Pokemon or whatever. So anyway, number 4, we have Misadventures of Tron Bonne. Again, don't have that physically, but it was a great game. Me and Maya played it on PSN there. I played it. Really good game, a lot of good variety to the different stages. Tron Bonne and the Servbots and all of that. A little bit of characterization there. Good interlude, kind of in terms of gameplay and in terms of characters and whatnot between the 2 Mega Man Legends games. For a spin-off game, it's just really impressive. Graphically, music-wise, gameplay-wise, they've really improved a lot of the gameplay from Mega Man Legends 1, and a lot of that would carry into Mega Man Legends 2. There's just some minor problems, but they're really not that many. So yeah, Misadventures of Tron Bonne was really good, and as a Mega Man Legends fan, I just really enjoyed it. So yeah, number 4. Number 3, Poi. This is a great, great, great platforming game. It really harkens back to Mario 64, but it fixes Mario 64. Honestly, and I said it, I think, in the review, but Poi is what I wanted Mario 64 to be. Just the all of the things that it does it's very, you could tell it's very inspired by the style of that, about the stars, and there's missions in each thing or whatever, but it's takes that and it crosses that with Hat in Time, and it's just really good. It's just a fun game to sit down and blow through and collect all the stuff. It's really not even that long. There's mini games on the side and stuff. also to collect more stars or whatever they are in this game. I don't remember, but I just remember having a really good time with the game. The jumping and the platforming and whatnot all feels really, really solid. It's very well controlling. And it's just a really solid game overall. I really, really enjoyed Poi. Very good platformer, definitely top tier platformer. And I'd given that a 9.2, and it's my number 3 game of the year. So, Poi, really good. Really, really enjoyed that. Alright, now number 2. We've got DuckTales Remastered. Basically, it took the original DuckTales game and just overhauled it completely. And all the music, the music is so perfect. Here, I gotta play it because it's so good. Yeah, the music, the gameplay was overhauled. Just everything, like, about the game was super, super, super good. The fucking moon theme is legendary. I love it. Listen to that. Oh, it's so good. They took that whole stage was great. They took the nostalgia, all of the greatness about the original DuckTales game, which is a great game for an NES game. You know, it's got its flaws, and they all rounded it all out to be really, really good. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, there's too many cutscenes, there's this and that. No. All that stuff adds to it. It adds all of the character, and if you're a fan of the show, it really helps a lot to just make the world that much better. I just love it, and the animation style and the art style to it is just incredible. Fucking everything about this game is so fucking good, and like, man, it's the perfect culmination of everything DuckTales to just like come together into one game, and it's a really, I know there's still a show and everything, but to me it's a really great send-off to DuckTales before we knew there was going to be a new show and whatnot, and it's just so much. It's like the perfect remaster. It's like it's so much harkens back to the original. It has aspects of that. Obviously, it just pulls in all of the good feelings of the original game and all the good control and the gameplay and everything that was good about the original. It takes that and it enhances it to like a 10 level, just like hype up there. You know, I only give it a 9.5, but like still really, really solid game. I just really fucking love DuckTales Remastered. Like, holy shit, that game was so good. Obviously, it's a little bit longer than the original, but you feel like you get your amount's worth of the content there. And it's just a lot of fun to run through and just do everything. And yeah, not everything. I didn't like do all the unlockables or whatnot, but just really, really great game overall. Just really love that. So, yeah. So yeah. And then, Game of the Year. What do we got? Oh god, what could it be? Pokemon Go! Game of the Year, right? I only invested like fucking hundreds of hours into this shit this year. Pokemon Go! Game of the Year, number 1, right? No, it's not. Don't worry. It's not. No, I wouldn't do that. But, the Game of the Year, this year. Boom! South Park, The Stick of Truth. Now, this was a fucking really great RPG. Now, in terms of like scores and whatnot, DuckTales Remastered did score a 9.5, and it does outrank South Park, which I only scored it a 9. I think basically due to some of the difficulty of the battles and whatnot later on, got really, really challenging. But the game is short. It kind of did a little bit of everything, but it's just much of the way that DuckTales Remastered is just a really good culmination of DuckTales. This is the perfect thing for South Park fans. It has so many fucking references to like every single episode before this, and just is the fucking perfect package for a South Park fan. You get to run around the town, you get to talk to all the characters, and there's a lot of, the gameplay is actually really cool, and it's a lot of fun, and it's like, it's a RPG combat system where you have 2 party members and you can like switch them out and stuff. It's like, that's such a unique concept. Like, no fucking game ever does like a 2-party system. And if they do, it's only for a little bit. Like, I know I mentioned that in the review. Just obviously the aesthetic and the music, they have callbacks. The music is all callbacks to like, not like the background music, but there's like the songs from the show will play on the radios around town and stuff, and like you collect chin Pokemon and stuff. Just all that kind of stuff. There's all sorts of cool callbacks to the shows. If you're a really big fan of South Park, it's such a good game. And even if you're not, like if you're not, like, maybe it wouldn't be the game for you, but like the gameplay itself is good, and just exploring around the town. It like canonized the layout for the town of South Park, and then every time they do the town shot later on, you get to see like the whole town in the show, that is. So like it actually even influenced the show. Like it was crazy. It's just like, wow, like it was such a good game. There's so many funny things in it, and just the world design is really cool, and all the side quests and stuff. But even with all of that, it's only like a 10-20 hour game, you know, tops, to like do everything. Because I did like pretty much most things in the game, just because I wanted to see all of the references and the callbacks and all of that, and see all of what the game had to offer. It's just like the perfect send up of South Park for the fans. Not that that's not going to continue to go on for forever, pretty much, but yeah, it's just super really good, really solid game. Very hard at times, but also just a lot of fun. And you know, it's pretty much the experience of the entire year that I had. Definitely like my top game. So fucking good, so fucking fantastic. Loved the South Park Stick of Truth there. That's game of the year, definitely 2021. And like, what a year it's been, you know, like I beat a lot of games. I could have beat more, but you know, like just kind of taking it easy now in terms of games and whatnot. And of course, Pokemon Go fucking ruined the like last half of my year there. That's alright though. I'm having a good time with that still. But yeah, like, you know, I really need to get to the Pokemon Sword and Shield Island of Armor DLC, but it's the Tundra, Crown Tundra or whatever. I did the Island of Armor. I actually did a review of that if you want to go and look that up. But I need to get to that. I know it's kind of random, but I always just think about that. I feel bad about that every time since I'm like a Pokemon master and, you know, or whatever, so. Here we go. Games. This is the top 22 games of the year, 2021. It was a good year. And now it's over. And now the video's over. So, yeah. Until next time, this has been JZNES, and keep it classic. Stick around for more reviews on underrated games. I'll see you guys in the next one. JZ out.